YouTube. My name's Marge. I'm a Heyoka, I'm an empath, and I just like to do these little talks on how I feel about things, and I just got really lethargic all of a sudden. I just got real comfortable. I feel pretty good today. Migraine's about 6. Right about normal. Hopefully we don't flare today. We're gonna try and keep that as a, keep it down there. Stress at a minimum. Try to. Yeah. But then life happens. Yeah. I was just listening to a really great talk. I like talks. I'm not much of a reader. God bless the readers, man. I'm not patient, and I think about too many other things, and I use too much energy trying to focus on reading what I'm comprehending, I'm not really enjoying it. So I'm more of a video, movie, documentary, short article, story. I like stories, stuff like that. But I heard a real cool talk on Crossi Atasio's tube, and she had a talk with a medicine man named Joe Greenland, on how to communicate with the spirits and stuff, and it's just so funny to me. Life is never gonna not be amazing to me with the alignments of stuff, He was talking about how, I'm gonna put the link, I posted on my Facebook page, Third Eye Activated, THIIIRD, Third Eye Activated, 3 eyes, on Facebook, and maybe I'll put it down in the description box, but it's just, all this stuff I believe in, I'm like, why do I believe in it so much? All this electricity and chakra and auras, and why is it so important to me, and I already know, because it's in my chart, it's in my stars, I'm supposed to teach people about this stuff and educate themselves. It's just so funny, because the more, I listen to elders share their experience. I always like listening to elders. I always hung out with people that were older than me, and I just like to gather data, useful information. I always like stuff like tying knots and nature, being out in nature, and when I listen to his talk, and I'm just like, you don't have to be related to people and to look like people and to be from the same age group and things like that. You don't have to have all these demographics in common to be alike. It's the frequency, it's the vibration in you that determines your likeness with someone else. It's whether you guide your vibe higher or lower, There's a lot of, we don't always, all we can do is determine where we put our vibration, and if we're aligning, keeping in alignment, and what we can do to stay balanced. I spend a lot of time outside. Me and Mom take, walks, and I try to get her to come outside with me, and she doesn't want to be outside right now a whole lot, and that's fine for her. She has her her freedom to not, and so I spend time, a couple hours a day outside under a tree, and different times of the day, hour in the morning, hour in the evening. It's my disciplines, until I get busier and I don't get to do these things. I have to, take the opportunity to keep my maintenance program, my spiritual maintenance program is tight as I can, I look at balance and imbalance just as much. When I get too much of anything, something else is lacking. I got to take a look at that. And people looked at their deficits. They wouldn't spend so much. I'm about done with this creamer. I'm about to go on memory taste. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get cinnamon and put it in my black coffee. I just like black coffee better. Splashed up on my nose. No shame in my coffee drinking game. Anyway, this man, the medicine man, was telling a story about how, and that's what I think, that these new kids because our spirits evolve, our energetic fields, it's evolving. That's, we're becoming more and more and more sensitive. Everything that is, like all the unrest in the world is because people are sensitive and they're responding out of their heart space of fear. And when you do things from fear, your logic goes out the window. So more people, and all these new kids are coming in and they have recollection of their past lives, and they're knowings. They know stuff. They just know it. Why? Because they know it. I know stuff. Why? Because I know it. You know stuff. Why? Because you know it. You just know. It's when people ignore themselves. That's where the disease comes from. When people go, tell themselves what a decent man they're laying in bed with every night. That man ain't that decent, Or they're telling themselves that they're really good in the relationship, and they're not that good in the relationship. It ain't gender specific. It's men and women. It's just balance. And, always. I never really like dresses and makeup. I do it. I'll do it for fun, but I just call it dressing in drag because it's just, I don't have the calves for it. I have like kind of muscly calves, so it's just, I don't know. It just always felt weird. So like when I was a little girl, because gender never mattered to me. It was never a thing. I would probably still walk around topless everywhere if society would allow it. Okay, I will on my own property one day, But just because it's just, I have no shame, and other people, they're like, that's private. I'm like, yeah, I'm not letting it, ain't nobody touching nothing, we all got the same stuff, I don't know. But some days I'm bashful. That's the imbalance in me. Anyway, so this guy was talking about, I'm not gonna I wouldn't do that at a freaking rodeo or nothing like that. Or at a truck stop, You gotta always pick your comfort zone. But, if there are other, anyway, enough about that. So he was talking about energy and, and these kids are freaking, a lot of these spectrometers, these Aspie kids, they're so, like, they don't like touching people because they know what people are. And they don't like looking at people all night because they see auras. And they're sensitive to taste because they can, like me. Like, I can't taste pie that is covered in plastic wrap because all I taste is pie-flavored plastic wrap. Things like that. Some of us are more sensitive, and some of us have had more experiences in life starting from a younger age, birth, because of traumatic things that happened to our mother in vitro, all the way, all the way through. It's how you deal and you cope with those experiences. I used to be afraid of everything. Because we used to live like by a volcano. I was afraid the volcano was going to erupt. Turns out that is because that's something that I'm sure happened in my historical, spiritual timeline, in my Akashic record. So yeah, the fear is very real because I'm sure that I experienced it. And that's what we are given irrational fears to remind us of things that we've been afraid of, to learn lessons so we don't have to be afraid anymore. And that's what I got to do. I got to be afraid of so many things when I was a kid. But what happened is when you start walking through all these things that you're afraid of, you start to get to be where you're like, wow, look what I freaking can take. And then I always heard that God don't give you more than your handle, and I'm just like, would you stop thinking so much of me? Could you maybe lower your expectation of me there? Goddess, source of all love and light? Thanks. Whatever you wanted to call it, God this. And I just think my source is there ain't no gender. There's dark light, I don't know, but that's what's cool about being able to define your own higher power. Not using somebody's opposed higher power. This is what our higher power does. Do it too, and then you get the people with the wrong idea and start doing seedy stuff. Like there's that story. It's a weird story at the Vatican. Weird stuff over there. Things are cracking open. Yeah. There's a girl that disappeared back in 1986, and they finally got permission to go in and look in the room to see if her remains in there. What they didn't find her, but they found a whole bunch of other bones. And the thing of it is, people hide stuff right in our plain sight. So it's weird to me with all the, they call them theories, maybe real, maybe not real, of bloodletting and all this, you know, blood magic and stuff like that. And that's why I'm not into all that stuff, because if you got to take somebody's blood and you're not taking it with permission, it's freaking, you're not of the light. It's that taking thing. It's that taking. It's, if you can't restrain yourself to not hurt somebody else, you ain't of the light. And so they find all these bones, right, which kind of supports that storyline. And then, I mean, shoot, why do they drink wine that removes your spirit? And what's it a representation of? The blood of Christ. So if you think they're going to represent, if they're told that they could get all the riches, which they already have, because all the money the Catholic Church gets, it keeps, and long life or eternal life. I mean, people are living longer and longer and longer, and they live for hundreds of years in the Bible, so maybe they're onto something, There's no way to verify or prove or deny that any of this is true, but the thing is it gives you food for thought, and where you point your vibe, where are you pointing your self-will? Are you in it to win it, or you in it to help add to the collective? That's about all I got for today. Hope you have a rad day. Peace.